Hello, my name is Thomas, and I will be playing Sir Edrich of Winterbourne Stoke, Marshal of Salisbury, who, after a relatively stressful, if successful, campaign, is taking a break and going on a quest, because that's what he does to unwind.
Hello, I am Mark. Oh. Okay. Hello, I have been Mark, aka the Cat's Meow. And today I'll be playing Sir Florence of Idmiston and the Baron of Axe. Loyal knights to the King of Cornwall, and definitely not traitor within Salisbury Heart. I'm here to partake on a quest to protect a man who needs to go to his home. He's definitely not suspicious and definitely won't betray us, and we won't have any problems whatsoever.
Everybody, while Bob's fixing his mic, I'm Liam. I'm playing Sir Virgil of Durnford and possibly others. Virgil's got a mess to clean up. He can't go on a quest right now. He's got to figure out the murder.
Hopefully
I can long enough to fix this.
Yeah.
We just had a funny conversation about quotes, and a particularly awful quote from an actor I really like.
Okay, we'll stop there.
Yeah.
We'll stop there before I get downgraded, before the already punishing YouTube analytics already throw me way down.
I wonder
I'm not going to say it, Bob, but I'm thinking it.
Yeah, it's fair.
God, no.
All right, thanks
I'm
for
sure
the
it was
notice.
nothing to concern yourself with.
Nothing at all.
My microphone has a way of deciding that it's like, hey, you sent me as your default. Yeah, well, I'm not anymore. How do you like that?
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
Time.
Considering it's the only one I use too, doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not using something else. So we'll figure it out. Thanks for the live audience. I'm going to quickly cut out that whole introduction because it'll be awkward for people. We'll be right back, and we're just going to dive right into the game from there. Okay? One sec.
Alright.
I'm just going to go ahead and, redo it, so this will be my cutting point.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and dive in, folks. The year is 502. When we last met up, we had met a particular young scholar who was hoping to get to Oxenford, if y'all recall that. I believe Florence had recruited Edrich and Virgil, yes? Or was it minus Virgil?
He'd recruited Edrich, but Virgil decided to stay home, I believe.
Stay home,
correct.
Indeed. All right, so we will have a solo adventure for Mr. Virgil on this trip. Yeah,
He's got to deal with the fallout of a murder.
it's true. It's true. Okay. Let me go ahead and I just want to pull up those oracle tables here. Liam, while we're at it, why don't you roll me 2d100 real quick?
Love to roll 2d100. It's my favorite dice to roll.
And after you roll, go ahead and state your intentions, your primary goal for staying home, or rather, what you want to do.
That's a 66 and a 36.
Okay.
Virgil has captured the man on his team that contributed to the deaths of the de Woodfords. Virgil's intent is to stay home and help hunt the bandits that burnt down Woodford in general, capture them as well, and to make sure that his face is still seen around so that he does not dip right after his enemies are killed. And he also, I think, is going to... he's waiting for the Lord de Woodford to potentially come back. Last we heard, he maybe fell in battle, but nobody was sure for certain. So he's going to wait around, and if the guy comes back, he promised to rebuild Woodford at his expense.
Okay. And then, do you guys remember whether it was Seor or Edion? It was one of those two.
The
that
Woodford?
was the one that the knight of yours that did the murdering.
Oh.
I only remember them as Billy and Jimmy.
Do you remember it was Billy or Jimmy?
I think it was Edgian because of his incredibly high loyalty lord. I think I remember that was his thing.
I think so.
Right.
Yep.
Entourage. Let me confirm. Where the hell did I write it? Holdings. It was Sir Edion.
Okay. And you have him. Have you executed him? What have you done with him at this point?
I am holding him prisoner to present to either the Countess or Lord D. Woodford.
Okay. You are summoned to Sarum, Virgil.
Oh no. Oh fuck. Oh shit.
You come there with a mouthful of whole dry spices.
I know I was expecting consequences, but I didn't want them now. All right. What's the vibe? I imagine not good.
You don't normally get summoned to Sarum.
That's not technically true, right? I'm on the council.
Yeah, that's more like Lady Ellen, and it seems different. Yeah,
the vibe
seems
is
more
off. You could say.
more formal, you might say, of a request.
All right,
less friendly, more distant. Okay.
Virgil will mount up and be on his way.
Okay. When you reach, and this is like a couple days after Florence and Edrich have left, that this kind of happens. When you reach Sarum, when you reach the rock, and you make your way inside, you see that there are a number of knights present. You see, let's just name a couple here. You see Kenrick. I said you see Kenrick. There we go.
There he is.
Yeah. You see I'm not even sure who's good left that's alive without half you guys. Like, everything's so dead in this county right now. For sake of ease, we'll just say a number of the knights that have lands, vassal knights, anyone with names and such that are kind of noteworthy. Oh, that's why I'm struggling to find everybody. I'm not looking at the Salisbury page. One second. Hey, listen, Bruja. Thank you very much, my friend. There we go. I apologize. So, you find Sir Robert is present. You find Alban. Lady Bronwyn.
Yeah, fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
It's my sister-in-law. God damn it. Fuck.
Lady Violet's here.
Oh. How's she doing? Probably not good.
I mean, she's been staying in Sarum for the most part, right? Also, Bishop Roger is present. And I think we'll go with that much. I think that's good enough for this. So I'll give you an intrigue roll to start this off. Let's see what you know kind of entering in, because I think you're probably likely to pick up on some vibes here. And then if you fail this roll, I'll give you a suspicious roll on top of that. Okay, I'll give you a suspicious roll on top of that.
That's not a great time to do an intrigue roll
Yeah.
and fumble.
I think
First
this
roll of the session.
is this Virgil just being too confident to care? Or
Is this a surprise party for me? No, I think I think
Erwin's here
the
too.
intent is for him. He had already resolved this matter with Lady Ellen, right? Like he volunteered to pay for the De Woodford's expenses if they survive. You know, if the guy survives. He's been hunting the bandits. He has the culprit. Like, for him, I think he fully expects him being called is a, listen, we're being raided by someone and Edric's away. So we got to come up with a plan. That's what I think he's thinking this is.
Okay. When you enter the chamber, they close the door behind you, and you see there's armed guards in the chamber. You see a number of knights, your peers, present, and you see Lady Ellen. At her left is actually she stands to the left of Robert at this point, and to Robert's right is his sister, Lady Jenna. Lady Jenna kind of nods your way. Give me another intrigue test. We'll see, because you've developed a bit of a
Rapport.
rapport with. Man,
What's going on?
She hates me. She hates me.
cut to a flashback where Virgil's like on his way in. He had like mud on his hand. He wipes it across his eyes, and he's just got like a stinging, like blurred look, like can't see anything.
I'm not crying. I've got human shit in my eyes. I'm sorry. I can't.
These 20s are unreal.
That's a 1 in 400 chance, so let's see if we can keep that going.
He's remembering accidentally spilling something on her dress a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh fuck."
There is one other figure present. Someone you haven't seen in a while. You see Mr. Statirius is present as well. Do you remember Statirius?
Statirius, he's the guy who was responsible for hunting Godzilla in the 1997 movie, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, Statirius and Stigarius are two different people. I don't remember Statirius.
Statirius is the Baron of Thornbush Castle in Silchester.
That's right.
And Swans.
Yeah.
Swans 100, yes.
Yeah, I do remember this guy. What's he doing here? Leave.
We haven't seen him in a while. Probably just came to say hi. But at that point... Yeah, go ahead.
What seems to be the matter? Quite a gathering we've got here.
Lady Ellen nods. Sir Virgil of Durnford, you stand accused of the slaughter of the De Woodford family and the death of the late Master De Woodford. Oh. Do you want to test
This
just?
is outrageous. I did. I failed just as well.
Okay.
Much higher, famously arbitrary though. This is outrageous. I've already explained the situation to Lady Ellen, and I have made my accommodations. There is no evidence against me. This is inappropriate and a waste of everyone's time.
Erwin will step forward and say, Sir Virgil, you must understand how this looks. The the feud you sought to end with the De Woodfords, your own knights being responsible for, as much as you admitted it, does not erase the fact that all of the De Woodfords are now gone.
And that is a tragedy, Sir Erwin. But I was not responsible for that. I have the man who's responsible, and I will hunt the bandits down who did it. It was a miscalculation by my men, but it was not my fault. You can't do this to me. Do you have any idea how much He almost legitimately said that. Do you have any idea how much I've sacrificed?
Literally what was running through my mind.
Right?
All right. What are they testing here?
I gotta figure out who's gonna be your biggest opponent here. I'm leaning on
Robert.
Bronwyn.
Robert loves me. Bronwyn! Come on, man. I thought we were cool.
Have you now that's why I'm kind of raising it out loud first. Have you done any maintenance on that since you're falling out years ago? Or has it been left to simmer and potentially fester?
He's made a lot of efforts to bring her back into the fold with Durnford. He's spoken to her. I don't know if you remember. He's spoken to her on a couple of occasions. She was moderately receptive, and I can't remember for certain, but I do think he made an open plea to Lady Ellen at one point that she should speak to Bronwyn and have her come back under the protection of Durnford. I would say there is enough wiggle room there that she could still not be feeling comfortable, but I think her biggest issue with Virgil has always been that she's a little afraid of him, more so that she actively dislikes him, if that makes sense.
There was also an additional, not quite interaction between the two, but Virgil did put her name forward as a potential member on the small council.
True. Yep.
She don't know
I'm
that,
not sure if that would have. Yeah, that might not have gotten back to her.
She might have heard that though. So I need to decide who brought this forward, because it's going to be someone.
Did I punch Kenrick in the face?
I punched a lot of people in the face.
I know,
man.
the list is so long. I can't be certain.
You know, I think in this case, given that Edrich's gone, this is probably Erwin.
All right.
So, like, give me a. I guess law would be. I will accept courtesy or intrigue tests, your choice. I'm pretty sure you're higher on intrigue if I could.
I am 1 point higher on intrigue these days, so. Okay. All right, well, it's not a fumble.
No. Breaking the trend at least. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever like really paid attention to how these things work. You know, sometimes they result in duels.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, Virgil can do that. I think Virgil will kind of lean forward on the table and he'll go, "Whoever's put forward these accusations to me after everything that I have done for Salisbury, all the things that I've put forward and sacrificed, I would happily face you in combat to settle this matter."
Erwin will step forward. Let's say,
"Shit."
I did, Sir Virgil. If you have anything at all, beyond the word of a man sworn to you that you did not do this, that this was not your hand to remove this family line, then I will. If you can show me anything, I will gladly rescind my words, and I will apologize.
Erwin, I have fought beside you in a number of situations. I know you to be an honorable man, which is why I try not to take any personal offense from what you're doing right now. The best I could do would be present you with the bandits who set the fire. But I don't have those bandits, and regardless of who set the fire, it was one of my men who boarded up the house and kept the Woodfords inside. I will not lie about the situation. If this can only be settled in blades, then I will face you. But I will not kill another Knight of Salisbury, not like this. Shit. I will not kill another Knight of Salisbury, not like this.
Sir Erwin says, "This is not my decision. Without a sheriff present, or a royal eye to oversee this falls on you, Earl Robert, and your mother, Lady Ellen." Robert looks like he's prepared. Like he looks a little more together than normal. And I'm going to test something here. I'm going to test something real quick. Because I think sometimes it's important to see the wild cards in any given scenario. So let's see good old Robert here.
Are we going to get another vengeful critical?
I don't think so.
Robert keeps on shitting in my cornflakes. He better not do it here.
I have been so cool to that kid too. Let me tell you.
I've been so cool to him as well, but he's taking the wrong lessons.
Gonna suplex him through a table. Oh, thank God.
Well, I don't know what that is yet.
That
Wasn't that vengeful?
That might have been better for me, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's arbitrary and just. Oh no, he's not just at all.
No, not even a little bit. Which means we
Not
should get
surprised.
along great.
Lady Ellen kind of starts to speak, and she's like, "Well, we need to be very careful with the way this goes forward. As Sir Virgil said, we can't afford to lose another knight, especially a prominent one. Sir Virgil, Sir Erwin, you are two of our greatest here in Salisbury." And Robert cuts in and says, "And that is why we will not allow this to resort into a duel. Instead, we will take Sir Virgil at his word. Sir Virgil, you swear you did not do this, that this was not your hand?"
I would gladly punish whoever is responsible. Yes.
And he looks to his mother, and his mother has like a mixture of like, she's proud that he's stepping forward, but also extremely terrified that this is going to backfire on him. She has a vibe to her. And she says, "Well then, says, as Earl Robert says, and Sir Virgil, apologies for this. I hope you understand that we needed to have this witnessed before all."
I have no illusions about what all of you must think of me. What you always must have thought of me. I know what I am. I know that's a hard harness to slip. But I have served Salisbury well. I will continue to do so. That will not change because of today. You have my word of that.
All right, and I'm gonna give you one last intrigue test.
I also have one thing, maybe two little things I'd like to do, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak to as a decompressor. Oh, I got this one! Yay!
That's good.
Okay, so you know the situation as it stands right now. You are effectively pardoned. That isn't likely to like be taken back. It's just dealt with.
Overturned, yeah.
Yeah. What that does do is create a lot of buzz in the court and doesn't necessarily clear your name, even though you're free. It's like the slander is still there.
I want them to be a little afraid of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stain's still there. I think what it does is it makes it so that you're not perceived as honorable, though, in the current situation.
Man.
So I'm not going to make you lose. I won't make you lose honor because honor is an internal thing. It just means that until such a thing is cleared, you'll not gain your honor glory.
That's okay. I recognize that. Question. Do I get any glory in general from this whole event?
Yes, I can't wait to get to 6th edition for Infamy, but absolutely. I think this is probably worth 100 glory, as is, like everything involved.
Hell yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so first, I would like to have a short conversation with Erwin. I'll grab him publicly too. I won't even wait till we're in private.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing you know about him is he doesn't tend to like have a lot of emotion in these things. So he's kind of just like, like once it's done, there's no like, he's not like giving you the shady eye. He's just right there. Turns to you.
Sir Erwin.
Sir Virgil?
If I were you, I would have done the same thing, I think. I do not hold it against you that you felt the need to bring this forward in the way that you did. I only hope that it was not because you actually suspected me of doing so. I was not lying to the court when I said that I know what I am. But I would have thought that after all that we've done together, you would have known what I really am.
He nods to you. He says, if it had happened any other way, Sir Virgil, know that I would have come to you first. Approached you on the manor directly. In my life, I've seen great people do terrible things. People change over petty things, simple things. I don't stand here because I just mistrust you, Virgil. Certainly not on the battlefield. And I will say that I would expect you to raise a sword quicker than a dagger. But I also... Indeed. Even still, I've seen you put your own friend through a table out of anger.
As I said, Sir Erwin, I know what I am. Lady Bronwyn is here. I can't properly care for my own brother's children because she's afraid of me. I made my peace with that a long time. I want people to be afraid of me. It helps me do my job. But I hope that you recognize, Sir Erwin, that I would rather die than dishonor Durnford. I would rather die than make Salisbury weaker under any circumstances.
Give me an honest roll. Unless you're famous in it. If you're famous 16. then- okay.
Nah.
It's okay. All that means is that it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
convey. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily convince him, but it doesn't not convince him either. I get you.
He'll nod though. I think more from the words and less from the passion or the peace that Virgil brings to the table.
Yeah.
He says, "I can't refute these things, Sir Virgil, nor will I waste my time doing so. We have a great number of enemies on our borders. It means very little to make enemies out of our allies and neighbors. Even still, the de Woodfords were related to more than one house here in Salisbury. It may be worthwhile finding ways to bring this still to justice. Unless you prefer such a title."
I still have the man who was responsible, and I look forward to hunting the bandits that burnt down the manor in the first place. And should Lord de Woodford return, despite the fact that I wholeheartedly believe that it was his dishonor that started this whole mess, I will rebuild Durnwoodford. It will be my expense, not the county's. You have my word at that.
He nods.
It
You
is
can-
a pity.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
you first.
He just puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, I believe that Lady Ellen will appreciate this gesture.
It is a pity that Lord de Woodford felt that it was appropriate to take 2 acres of my land in as many years. Perhaps in a different world, only he would be dead and his family would be safe.
Indeed.
I do tell you, Sir Erwin, I would have preferred that.
We still would have been without a knight, but we are without them anyways. And I agree. What are the words we speak when we are knighted? Let this be the last time we suffer such a blow without due recourse. You're warranted in just recourse. Unfortunately, that is not how the de Woodford ended.
Should the de Woodfords not return, someone will need to take up Woodford Manor's lands. I don't think it should be my decision to make. Considering you have put forward a measure of honor in this, I would like to put forward your name as someone who was directly opposed to me in this matter, as helping to find a proper candidate for Lady Ellen and Sir Robert, Count Earl Robert. Robert.
Very well. I will start by sifting through the names that are present, seeing who their relatives are. He looks really annoyed with that. That doesn't sound like fun work to him. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So he's converting the
Sucks for
library
us.
research skill
I guess.
over.
I guess 2 of us are having bad days today. Then. I tagged him back. That's all right. We're good. Yeah.
There are a couple. There's one other thing I think you notice, Virgil, as you kind of turn. You see, well, do a recognize or heraldry roll. Give me both. Give me a +5 to both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
Hell fucking yeah.
It is Newton
Yeah.
Manor.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you see a man and a woman. The heraldry they have would mark them as the Lord and Lady, or at least the Regent of Newton Manor. but is not Jaren's wife, or Jareth's wife rather, or Jaren's wife.
Yeah.
Forgot he was married too. Yeah.
Interesting. And I probably haven't seen these people very often before, right?
Yeah, I think your recognized roles, like, they look familiar, but you can't really place from where.
Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna walk past them on my way to see Robert, Ellen, and Elaine. No. Yes?
Yeah, no.
Robert.
Jenna. Yeah, Robert, Jenna, and Ellen.
Okay.
And if they stop me to talk to me, I will speak to them. But otherwise, this is interesting. But I don't know these people.
Yeah, fair enough. The ladies first to speak up. She's, as you kind of pass, she says, "I'm glad to hear that it's all in the all clear now, Sir Virgil."
Well, it's a tragedy that it had to happen at all. I'm mournful for the De Woodfords. My problem was with their lord, not the family itself. Death of children is always reprehensible.
Indeed it is.
I'm not sure if we've been properly introduced. I've seen you before, but
She laughs at that. Says
we've spoken.
many times, Sir Virgil. But I was a girl then, I suppose. We haven't had much time in court to be acquainted. I'm Sarah, the younger sister of Jaren and Jareth. And Rickard,
you
right?
look
Hold on. Right? Rickard?
much different. Rickard? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think she knows he's alive, so I think I'll leave that one. Yeah.
Does Virgil know she's alive? Knows he's alive? I don't think Virgil knows he's alive. I don't know if Virgil knows who he is.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, she smiles and says, "Yes, age will do such a thing. This is, you may remember, Sir Blackwind. We are wed now," he says.
Oh. Congratulations, I suppose.
She nods.
It's good to see you, Blackwind. I'm happy that you have position equal to your skill now.
He laughs. Actually, they both laugh at that, and he nods and says, "Couldn't have wished something worse for me, honestly." But she smiles and says, "Indeed. Took much convincing that he was the right fit, mostly to him."
I certainly know what that's like. There was a time when all I was meant to be was a blade for Durnford. But when Perin passed, things got much more complicated for me. I think today is evidence that I have not figured it all out.
Blackwind will just shrug. Like, you know, if there's someone that could beat Virgil at caring less about intrigue, it's Blackwind. So he's just like, let them think what they're gonna think. You've been pardoned. Enjoy it.
I'll do more than enjoy it. I'll use it. Them being afraid of me is best. Helps me fulfill my duties. But I have seen those in this room that saw me. I won't forget that.
With that, they nod. And then you were off to see the... Sorry, you might want to close something there.
Oh, no, that's fine. I think that's good. I think he'll just say, like, "It was nice seeing you again, Lady Sarah and Sir Blackwind.
They both nod.
Should you ever need a... should you ever need new friends to hang out with, it seems I'm down one. And I'm quite upset at his passing.
They look to each other and nod. And I don't think they respond one way or the other. It's not.
No, of course not. Hey, do you want to replace the guy that just murdered a family in town? We'll think about it.
Yeah. I think I got your number. I'll give you a call sometime.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how the next year or two goes for me.
Okay.
I felt
Yeah?
such sympathetic pain when the response to "I don't believe we've met" was "Yes, we have many times."
All many times. Oh, worst response you could possibly get.
Yeah. Worst they can say is no. Yeah. It's one of those.
Well,
We met fully 5 years before now.
I'm sorry. Have we met? Yes, we have many times.
Yeah.
You're my uncle.
No, I'm an asshole. That's what it is.
What's that SNL bit where it's like, what's their name? This is your best friend John's girlfriend. They've been dating for 5 years. What's her name?
Yes, it's great.
Yep.
Awesome.
Norman the Doorman.
Anything you want to say to Ellen, Robert, or Jenna as you're approaching
Yes.
them?
Very briefly, I think he will. He'll kneel for Robert, and he'll go. There was a moment when I realized why I was here. And I knew the reputation I have, the role I have filled in Salisbury. And I knew for certain that I would be blamed for this. I thank you, Robert, and Ellen, and Jenna, for seeing me as more than just a hound. Thank you.
Before the other two, one thing you're noticing is Robert's quick to the draw with his statement. So before Ellen or Jenna can take the courteous response, he says, "Of course, I'm not going to let one of my best knights die. Not for nothing."
Oh! You need to let me up my loyalty lord right now, Bob. You need to let me do it
My
right now.
boy.
I will.
Now,
what
Pete,
is
that's the
your
kind
loyalty,
of-
Lord?
It's 17.
I don't know. I will give you a tick on it. How's that sound? That's fair.
It's already ticked. That's okay.
This guy made me go down from 16 to 15, but hearing that would be great. I love that. That's corruption working in our favor instead of against me.
I think Virgil smiles in one of the rare uncreepy smiles that he gives. It's a smile that looks very legitimate and kind of joyful, which is not something that Virgil looks like unless he's murdering someone.
That's fair.
You honor me. You honor me, my Earl.
I think
gives a quick glance to Jenna and Ellen because I think they wanted to say something.
No, they don't though now. They were beat to the punch.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can add to that. They just smile and back Robert in that. So
Aww.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think Virgil's going to be riding the high from this 10-second interaction for literal years. I don't know if anybody has ever made him feel like this before.
Notice me, senpai worked on Virgil.
I guess. I guess, man. Not only did they not think that he was a brutal murderer, but they also like him. Legit like him. Like him. That's, man, nobody likes him. Even his friends don't like him like that.
Hey. I don't trust you. It's a different thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. Oh, very fun. All right, I'm good. I'm so groupy with this.
I'm going to be
Awesome.
using Loyalty Lord as a passion more often.
With that, we're gonna cut over to the traveling boys. So you know your best bet at this point is probably to I don't know how you feel about it, but riding through Silchester is by far the most simplistic way you can go when you're heading towards Radicin. Or Ridichin.
We are not at war, and our biggest concerns would likely be Saxons in that time. For now, Silchester and Salisbury's relationships are as good as they could be.
They're not actively hostile, so let's go with that.
That said, we could head through, was it Gentian? Because
You
we
could.
recently conquered it.
They just don't have great roads there.
Yeah,
That's the biggest risk.
Silchester's probably the best way.
If you guys want to make a hunting roll, I'll give you some general directions on what's going on and why this is probably important.
Do I want to? No. Will
Yeah,
I?
Why don't you make
I'm
some
not-
hunting rolls?
I'm not fantastic at hunting. Mine's a 6.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it, because that's even better.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
no, you know what? I'm not gonna make you. Yeah, roll it anyways, because it'll be hilarious. If
So close to a
That
fumble.
was close.
Yeah.
Should I give it a roll or just him?
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Alright.
I believe in you.
Oh, it's a critical!
Hell
That
yeah.
happened.
So, well, you can take it. I think as you guys are debating which way to go, and you mentioned Gentian, you realize that basically to reach Oxford that way, you're going to be wandering through paths that verge on the edge of the Forest Sauvage in ways that you're not familiar how to navigate. So you're basically riding toward in very sort of sketchy lands for this period. Remembering that roads become trails and trails become, even smaller. So, your better bet would be probably to ride up the Tamesmith, kind of towards Tamesmith, and then veer rather than going all the way to Albans, kind of cut through the fields there. Open land, less forests, brings you into the hills, which are not ideal, and it's probably what they referred to when they mentioned bandits. But there's less fording of rivers, there's less sketchy routes. It'll only be a portion of the route that will be sketchy.
I think that's a good plan. And that's
Okay.
what Florence would suggest.
Okay.
Good idea, Sir Florence. Yes, I believe that will do nicely.
Okay. So, Thomas, roll me a 1d10.
9.
Okay. All right. You folks make it to Lev Kamagus. You haven't been here in a while. There's no more Sir Blaine's Lev Kamagus.
Thank God.
But you are greeted by the new steward of Lev Kamagus. And it is indeed a familiar face that you haven't seen in some time. I'll accept heraldry or recognize. In both cases, you guys can make a... I'll say heraldry plus 10 or recognize plus 5. They will warrant different results.
I will do heraldry. Plus 10.
Let me... My heraldry is 6, my recognize is 13. It's going to be recognize. Success.
Ooh.
Okay. I think you're both quick to... I think in the case of Florence, you recognize it as the coat of arms of one of Dallin, actually. You remember Dallin? Dallin had a squire from these lands. Edrich, I think you recognize it as Sir Gwigan. He's now...
Done.
Yeah.
Sir Gwergan, well met.
Oh, Sir Edrich, Sir Florence. Spend
You've
some
done
time.
well for yourself.
Well,
Indeed it has.
it seems that Lev Kamagus is in need of a knight that's more capable than just wielding a sword. Especially in these days of peace with Salisbury.
If I might say, you are the most pleasant steward of Love Kamagus I've ever met.
Indeed.
He says, now, there are still many that are loyal, or that honor the late steward's name, of course, in these lands.
Of course, of course.
And we shall not speak ill of the dead.
Indeed.
But we come here seeking merely passage through. We are here as an escort through your lands further north to Ridichin.
Of course. For what purpose exactly?
Based on the conversation that Sir Florence had with what's-his-face, did it seem like this was a matter of secrecy? Like, was I pressed into, and no one must know?
I'll leave that to Florence, I guess, on his interpretation.
I think Florence just wasn't very specific, which isn't out of character for him.
Right? 100%.
And that Edrich would look to Sir Florence.
Florence says, we're heading to Oxenford, helping to deliver a scholar who's lost their way and needs a bit of assistance.
He smiles, but he also kind of laughs a bit. He's like, Oxenford is a strange place for a scholar to go, unless you plan to study the trees. And certainly you'd be better off in Silchester or Londinium.
Well, to be honest, I'm not too sure. Perhaps he's one of those strange tree scholars. Well, that I cannot speak to. Only I can say is that he seems to be a good man at heart. And he seems to be paying quite well.
When he hears that last part, he'll be like, say no more then. I'll say, I would never get in the way of such honorable knights as you, of course. Both of you have quite the reputations.
Thank you, Sir Gregor.
It's most appreciated.
Sir Florence, I've been hearing rumors that you now side with King Idris of Cornwall.
I am indeed one of his barons. However, he has been as gracious as to allow me to continue to operate within Salisbury. Think of me as a diplomat of sorts.
I see. A diplomat on behalf of Cornwall to Salisbury?
On behalf of the king.
Very well. You get the. He's picking up on the complexities of that. What you may or may not remember of this guy is he was quite good with the courtly stuff. So he'll simply nod and say, what would he say? I think he'll just simply say, well, you're welcome to stay the night or longer if you wish. And to be honest, you're welcome here whenever you wish to be. I'm sure this place would be quite welcoming of such honorable knights, despite the history, of course.
That's very relieving to hear. In times of such chaos and strife, it is welcome to find a port where one is met with weal rather than woe.
Absolutely. And as one who comes from a union of a mother of Silchester and a father of Salisbury, I can only appreciate that we are able to grow closer as, well, areas, counties, and duchies that are so close together.
And on a personal note, should you find yourself in areas of my holding, you will be treated to the same hospitality.
Indeed,
so.
Salisbury always welcomes those who are righteous and noble.
By the way, gents, I put up the photo of Pertoins, I believe. you call it?
Pertoins.
Yeah.
Queens.
Or Patronus, if you spell that wrong.
I think it's Patrona. I think it's Roman, right? So it's
No, I don't think it is.
I'm suspicious of anyone with a French name.
Oh, he's French. Oh, he's French.
I hear our camera keeps cutting out.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I haven't been looking at the stream.
Let's keep an eye on it for now.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'll let you know if it happens.
Okay. It might be something changed in the settings where when the background changes, it could temporarily flash out. I don't know. But
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, once this scene has wrapped up, I think there would be good to have a quick scene between Florence and Edrich as they're kind of settling down to rest for the night and Lev Kamagas have a conversation about some things.
I'd also like to talk to Pertoins, but it'll be good to have this conversation.
Go ahead.
But yes. So Florence, it seems that at least the early stages of this journey have been fruitful. I doubt that the hospitality of those who would be using the hills for ambushes will be as noteworthy, but we'll respond to that in kind.
Most certainly. But so far, I'm greatly enjoying the journey. It's almost like old times. You, me, and... I suppose it's just you and me now.
Yes. It is a shame that Sir Virgil could not join us, and a shame that Sir Perin could not join us either. I have informed my squire of the importance of doing random tasks to eventually do things which will change the course of a great many things. After all, it was chasing a goat which led to us accompanying Merlin to retrieve the sword.
No, isn't that for sure? Such a small thing led to such a big event. Who knew it would define our lives for the next decade and a half?
Hence why I am informing Rian about the importance of random stuff.
Certainly. Nothing
It's also
like
a great
quest.
motivator. It's also a great motivator for doing random tasks around the yard.
Oh, absolutely. But I must confess, there's more than one reason why I asked you to come along with me for this such simple trip.
I do
In
not
fact,
doubt it.
It has to do with my return to Salisbury. I have
Indeed.
no doubt that you have managed to put together what reason I might have for coming by.
Idris wants to keep an eye on a number of the neighboring provinces to see what would be an acceptable target for invasion and that sort of thing. What I am trusting in is your honor as a knight and our friendship that you do not give him too much.
Well, therein lies a slight issue, Edrich. You see, I was not simply sent as an extra pair of eyes or an ear out. I was sent here as a test. But you see,
Yeah.
I am one of the candidates for Earl of... Bob, what's it called again?
I don't know. Say
Ascalon?
Earl. Yeah, Ascalon.
Is it
Wits.
Ascalon?
Yeah.
I thought it was renamed, but I don't remember.
Devon. Was it Devon?
I think it's Earl of Devon.
I see.
Ruh-roh.
You'll forgive me if I do not congratulate you just yet.
True enough. It is something I have yet to own, but I hope to. By supplying him with the information he needs. That is why I would press to you the importance of ensuring Salisbury is strong and secure. Because I do not think I can afford a slip-up in this case.
I do understand, but I admit I am filled with some degree of disappointment that sharing truthful information is something that you would do. Ascalon, or is it Devon? Ascalon is an important step up, one who has risen from a knight to a baron already. But Idris is a foreign invader. My ideal, and I do hope that you will keep this amongst friends, is that King Idris does not have a foothold within Britain, and that he stays on the mainland in Brittany.
Idris already has a foothold in Britain. He has Cornwall.
Hence why I am hoping that does not remain for long. Your position within the court was something which I, at some point, were his forces less strong or his economy less bolstered, that could be used in much the same way he is using you here. To identify a weakness, to look for a good opportunity to strike. And it is unfortunate that Salisbury is not in a position to capitalize on that yet. Our only hope is that they either turn their eyes towards Summerland, which is not great in its entirety, or remain, or Dorset. But the next step from either of those ports of call would either be Salisbury or going out of their way to avoid us, heading north. It is difficult being next in line on the butcher's block, and it is difficult having a friend serve the butcher.
True, but I dare say I have greater reasons than just Salisbury to do so. One must think to the whole country, and to the future of our king.
I do understand, but Idris taking control of the land, when the true king returns, it will be an uphill battle uniting the lands behind him. With foreign currency coming in, foreign mercenaries, and the might of Cornwall, it will not be insurmountable. Indeed, if Britain were united, we would already have kicked him out. But it makes things more difficult with every part and parcel of Britain that is handed over to Idris. He is no fool, and he is no Saxon, both items which work in his favor.
Yes, indeed. Though, as an earl, there would be much more I could do to support the future of the land. And Salisbury to smaller effect.
Yes.
I do not seek to abandon my homeland, nor my friends. But I won't make a decision that will harm the future. That will harm my people. That will harm my family.
I am glad to hear it, and I understand. One's loyalty it is a complicated web, but one which must be upheld. I will ask you one thing, as a show of the trust that I have in you. If I were to keep you away from sensitive information, would that be better for you, or would you try and seek it regardless, at expense, perhaps, to Salisbury?
I think of it like this. If I am performing my job, I will receive what I need to. If I prove that my eyes and ears are better than your eyes and ears, then you have a problem, Edrich.
Indeed.
If I cannot, Salisbury is secure. But I think it's required that we keep ourselves active. It is why we do not stop training with the sword. even in times of
Indeed.
no war. So let us
You
say
make-
this. Think of it as a little game of sorts.
You make double
Princess
crossing sound
Spy.
like an art.
Oh, I always do. There's a reason I am known as the man with the golden tongue. Or at least I would like to.
Who says that?
No one. I do.
I see. Oh, I will thank you for telling me this. It does paint a few things into unfortunate shades, but I do not believe it to be the end of the world, nor indeed for our friendship. It has survived. He actually does some calculations as he looks up to the side, and it has survived worse.
Indeed.
I want you to roll intrigue,
Sure
and
thing.
I'm going to also roll intrigue to notice something behind his eyes.
Do not, under any
Ooh, it's
circumstances,
failure.
do not under any circumstances tell Virgil about this.
Oh, of course not.
Absolutely
No.
not.
This is
Under
gonna end.
no
That's gonna end so
circumstances.
badly. I will say on a 13, on a success for me and a failure for you, you don't realize that Edric's okay, the same plan that I've had for a little while still needs to happen, but it needs to happen really, 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 really quickly and really well.
Mm-hmm.
It involves many things outside his power. Sorry, you go.
Yes. I got that Florence to go. Oh, also, should maybe have a talk to some of the knights about placing a foreign knight in charge of organizing troops. It's very easy to get the information I needed.
I wasn't involved in the replacement period. I expected Sir Urban to have replaced me.
He did for a while, but then he had to leave. To check up on you, funnily enough.
He never found me. But yes, understood. Operational security will be changed. But I want to thank you for sharing this with me. But I believe I would like to speak to Pertoines. Would you care to join me, or would you prefer to rest?
No, I'd be happy to join you.
Okay, we're going to
Very
move
well.
forward with this just to kind of keep things. So I'm going to propose that we do that in the next scene, which is also not in Left Command. As much as it would make
Absolutely.
sense thematically, I think keeping things
No,
moving.
definitely. Keeping the momentum.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that. We're gonna go to Virgil.
Virgil time.
Yeah. Virgil, what is the game plan?
Stay close in case there's an attack, and hunt those fucking bandits to the end of the earth.
Okay. What are you looking for here as far as bandits? Looking for the bandits that burned the Woodford? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, correct. We talked about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There were not too many directions they could have feasibly come through without being seen. So I think Virgil's going to question any person that he can about where they went through. He's going to get his remaining hounds together and put the fear of God in them that they need to find these bandits.
Okay.
So, I mean, he did beat one of their guys almost to death in front of a lot of them as a point. So,
yep,
they need to get moving on this. We'll, hit every village on the way in the area and see if anybody saw anything or has any information.
For sure. I will accept. I'm going to give you 4 tests. We'll start with energetic.
Not great.
No, that's okay. We'll move next to intrigue.
A success.
Move next to hunting. That's for your individual tracking or anything you might do, not your men per se. Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then the last one, I'm trying to think what would represent the leadership aspect. Maybe battle in this case. As weird as that is.
Yeah. Success.
Okay. You can tick the ones you succeeded at. They're not ticked.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I think interesting that you're a 14 energetic. I think in that sense you're just like you're a little exhausted going through this. You probably haven't slept well. You're like getting baggy-eyed, Virgil, in the process. But you managed to do some tracking yourself. You managed to organize your men, and then there's of course the talking around, investigating with your neighbors. There is talk of the bandits coming from Harewood. Hold on. Let me make sure I got that right. Nope, I got the wrong one. Just looking at the map now.
Rockwood.
Shoot Forest.
Collingbourne Wood. Shoot Forest. Where is that?
That is the forest where...
And exactly where Sir Urban said they didn't come from, because they would have noticed.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Interesting. All right. We'll deal with that bridge when we come to it.
Now, because you passed the hunting yourself, you you track them to the opposite side of the river from Shoulderton. Just as a note of that. So it's possible this was more negligence than conspiracy, but take it as you will.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I failed both trusting.
You got ahead of me on that. Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
I failed them both exactly the same, so we'll say that Virgil's a little split on that.
How about this? I propose you re-roll them till one of them passes at a higher rate than the other one, because I think it's time for a directed trait to Irwin here. Let's see whether you're suspicious or trusting of Irwin. Oh,
Looks like I'm trusting.
Give me a D6. I will say if you strongly oppose this concept, you can deny, you can refute it.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't strongly oppose it. I think there's enough little bits and bobs here that I think a trusting of 6 does feel a little wrong for me here, but not that wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, like, between him being the one to make the accusation at the court and also this bit of information, I think getting a trusting out of it does feel weird.
Yeah,
but
not
fair. So. But again, like, not so weird that I'm willing to really stake my life on that. You know what I mean?
I'll propose I propose a 3. I think it needs to be there because there's something that makes you go. At some point, you're going. You know what? Like, if you're not immediately coming to this conclusion, you're like, you know what? It doesn't make sense. Like, you're talking yourself out of it. Like,
that tracks for me. That tracks for me.
But yeah, I agree. Right. 16's a little overboard. I didn't expect to roll 6. So, yeah. 13. We agreed to 13.
Yeah, this man may have skipped bandits and also potentially potentially tried to end my life, but. Famously, I'm going to go to bat for him every situation now. That guy's cool. Yeah, no, 13 tracks for me.
Understood.
Okay, cool.
Roll a D10 real quick.
Oh, I love D10. It's my favorite kind of dice. That's a 10.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Sounds good. So maybe let's do a new set of actions. I don't want to go through a full combat, but we're gonna bring you into some combat skills. So we're gonna do awareness, horsemanship, and weapon skill of your choice.
Wonderful. Can I impassion for any of these?
I usually don't allow it for this because it's meant to represent a high level of multiple rounds. So I would say no. Mm-hmm. No in this case.
The only reason why I would potentially pitch it is just because I think Virgil has staked his honor on getting these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. I'll allow it under the concept, though, if it flips to a 20, then it flips to a 20.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll try it. It's worth a shot.
Okay.
It succeeds. Fucking Christ.
Okay.
Okay.
You can choose, other than horsemanship, too, you can choose... horsemanship roll will be at a -5 through the forest, actually. So you can choose dex if you'd rather at flat.
If I'd rather go on foot. -5, it's the same either way. Okay. Okay, so first it was awareness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's +5. Success on awareness.
Okay.
And then what was the next one? It was horsemanship or dex?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do horsemanship, because if it's the same, I might still get bonus against unmounted guys. Oop, that's wrong. Don't ignore that. Ignore that. There you go. Still a success.
Okay. And weapon skill of your choice.
Okay. Do I get horse bonus against these peasants?
I will allow it, actually.
Very well. Thank you.
Okay. So your
critical.
Your individual fighting went well. I'm gonna get you to test battle -5 because again, the forest and banditry, it's not really a battlefield. It's guerrilla.
Yeah. Success.
Okay. All right. So basically, the high level of that is you round up a bunch of bandits. No, they're not dressed in yellow, nor is there any sign of the yellow sign involved.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it still makes me uncomfortable.
The best part is Florence could absolutely know what that is because he was along for half that ride before he got lost in the forest. But he also wouldn't care enough to ever notice, or he'd be like, "What? Ooh, that time I got lost in the forest, and Edward died. That was the only thing that was important that day." Wait, no, Edward was
already dead by that point, but for some reason someone dug up his body.
Yeah, details.
Edward died a second time.
He wouldn't even know that. He'd be like, "Oh, they found Edward's body in the forest. Not sure how, but whatever."
Fully armored, weirdly.
They also found Edward's dad's body, Florence's dad's body in there.
Weird grave diggers.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I think Edward's mom died that day too.
Yeah. The death of Edward's family. Day. Yeah. Okay, so do you manage to bring them in? They look like they've managed to collect quite a bit of spoils, and we're actually in the process of building a bit of a network of bandit sort of outposts.
Well, quite a fine mess you've gotten yourselves into, isn't it? Which one of you's the leader? Is he slain yet?
One of the men points to the guy on the ground and says, He was, my lord.
Uh-huh. How certain of you are that? Wait, how certain of that are you?
He looks at you. Yes? Yeah. He says, I'm going to give this guy a name. He says, I'm certain, my lord. That was E4.
I see. And he's dead.
Yes. Quite dead, sir.
Okay, interesting. You know what? I'm actually. Can I pitch to you that I use the famous arbitrary instead here, instead of rolling?
Yeah. That would be the default.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you?
That's
what purpose?
That's what I thought. You'll see in a second. He's
Okay.
not going to kill anybody. Yet.
Well, and it certainly seems as you being brave enough to speak up. You speak for these men now. You must be their new leader.
I'm not so certain about that, my lord. I'm told I got a big mouth.
Indeed. I imagine it gets you into trouble.
Quite often, sir.
You call me my lord. Your men stood against us, fought back, tried to kill us, and you still call me your lord. Why is that?
A habit.
Habit. Fascinating. Do you know why we're here, gentlemen?
He looks around. No one else is saying anything.
I'm here. We're here. Because some peasants decided that their lives were more important than the rest of Salisbury combined. They decided they wanted to make a statement. They decided that they were going to burn down a knight's home. And whether they knew it or not, that knight's family never made it out of that home. Women and children burned to death in it, and a manor is nothing but ash now. I think someone has to pay for that, don't they?
No one says anything.
I'll tell you what. I'm bringing 3 of you back to Sarum for a trial. It's more than any of you deserve. I'd like you to tell me, which ones should I bring? The rest are getting shallow graves. Show of hands.
Alright, I think it's gonna be the reckless and valorous that will raise their hands. I think we'll say E4 and 2 others raise their hands. E4 is first by a mile, the other 2 are quite a bit slower.
And yet, many of them raise their hands, yes? Does anybody not volunteer to be spared?
I don't know if they think trial's sparing, but yeah, there are probably I'd say 3/4 of them that process it fast enough, get to their hands raised eventually. But there's 3 that probably come up a lot faster than the others. The others are still trying to think through your words and what that means.
Virgil will wait. Virgil will wait. He wants to see if they all put it up. If anybody points to another person instead of just volunteering themselves.
Yeah, if they keep waiting, I think everyone will put their hands up. There's like probably one guy with his brother, like the brother doesn't put his hands up and he like elbows him and he's like I thought they meant that we'd be hanged if we didn't. And he's like, no, they'll hang us either or. Like they're having those kind of arguments with each other. They'll hang us regardless.
Fascinating. These are the men you threw your lot in with. See, us knights, the ones of us that are here, we're out here avenging an enemy. Someone who took something from us that we had a grudge for. And yet here I am offering an opportunity for 3 of you to have a chance at being spared. And all of you choose yourselves. Look to your left and right. Look at the men who you've murdered with. None of you deserve life. I'll make sure of it.
And I think Virgil is going to give the order for all but 3 of them picked at random.
Okay.
He's going to keep the talkative one alive, but the other 2 at random can be brought in. The rest of these guys, put them down and put them down bad.
Okay, so the rest of them get run through?
Yep.
But the talkative one doesn't?
Talkative one and 2 others will get to come with.
Okay. And the other 2 are random, right? You said?
Yeah, does not matter. They're all equally worthless in Virgil's eyes.
Noted. They are executed like the common folk they are. with little rule or right to any trial, which is what being common in this setting is all about.
They really should have considered before striking down and burning down Manor House that they were poor, and they
Right.
really should have tried to make moves and network before
They
doing
should
that.
know only knights are allowed to burn down other knights' houses. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take it a step further and call them dumb too, because they should know that when you piss off the sword group of people, ends up
the warrior
kind of
cast.
using the sword. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've noticed that these people have eaten well consistently throughout their lives and are in better shape and are larger generally and have armor and swords. They've got money, yes, but is it worth it?
Fuck those guys in particular. Perfect. Virgil will bring his prisoners back to Sarum then.
The one thing I'll add to you guys too, because we haven't like highlighted a lot in this game, banditry is generally up during Anarchy. Without sheriffs and royal roads and all that stuff, yeah, it's not great.
You know, I think Salisbury could really use a sheriff. I think a sheriff would be a good person to have in Salisbury. I wonder if there's like anybody like, I don't know, commander of forces, like what's another word for that? Maybe a marshal of some kind that could nominate someone as a sheriff of Salisbury. I don't know.
There's one issue there. Only a king can nominate a sheriff.
Yes.
We don't have kings. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. There's no
We got a
kings.
king. He's
Mark
8.
is correct in this moment.
Who cares? It's anarchy.
We don't have a fucking king.
You make me sheriff until there is a king, and then the king, we can take it up with the king once there's a king, all right? But I don't want to hear any of that shit.
I love it.
We literally just invaded the people to the north of us. Come on.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they don't have a
because-
king either.
Exactly. They don't have a king. Who's going to yell at us?
Exactly my point.
Who's gonna stop us? The king?
Oh man. Should I question Mr. Bob? Should I up cruel at all for this? I feel
No.
like that feels right.
No.
All right.
What's your cruel at?
15?
Yeah, I think you're okay. There's nothing in that
Yeah.
that was extraordinarily cruel, I'd say.
All right.
In fact, you're damn near bordering on just for this.
That's so fun. Knights are so
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they were full
Maybe I should-
bandits. You might have
maybe I
upped
should-
cruel if you went, I want you to take their face.
You know what?
Oh.
I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should put them in a house and burn it down while they're still in there. No, that's too much. It's too much.
All right, the first
Now
5
that
people
might
who
take
put up
you
their
for-
hands get to live.
As much as I want that extra,
And then you
cruel,
kill those first 5.
Actually, you know what? Actually, scratch that. You're right, Bob. That's a great point. I'm gonna test it, and if I get cruel instead of merciful, then I'll do it worse. All right. Good. All right. Cool. I'm doing it worse.
What does worse look like?
I think putting them in a unused building and
One
burning
of their
it to the ground
outposts?
while they're still
Yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that, an eye for an eye.
Nice thatched hut, and they burned it. All right.
I'll make sure that my knights watch too. I need them to be desensitized.
Now
And to
Virgil
know-
can tick cruel. So
Yeah, Cruel's already ticked. It's Virgil. Come on.
he didn't even need it. Yes.
No,
I
of
didn't need
course
the
not.
mechanical reason. I
It's
just wanted to
Virgil.
do it.
He's got 2 defining characteristics. This is the other one.
What's the other one? Vengeful.
Honorable. He's a sweet little boy.
I love
sweet little
honorable.
girl. He's a
Cruel,
sweet little boy.
arbitrary.
He's a sweet little boy, and he'll burn your fucking house down.
Okay, we're gonna jump to Edrich and Florence with that, as there are terrible screams rather, as the camera pans away.
Oh, the buzzing feels so good right now. No buzzing. It's gone. It's gone. It's great. This is wonderful.
Is someone
who rolled-
cooking pork?
Who rolled the D10 last time? That was That was Thomas, right?
That was
It was.
no.
Thomas.
I'll get
Yeah.
I'll get
Oh,
the
what?
D10
Oh.
from Mark this time.
Alright.
But last time for
Can
us,
you do
Ian.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for us. That's a
Gotcha.
3.
Okay.
I love threes. Come on, buddy. Don't start.
Okay, as you're making your way, we'll pick up the scene with what you had intended, which is traveling from Lavcamagus to the city of Silchester. We will give you guys, we'll start the scene with you guys talking to the young scholar. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
Pertoins.
So, Pertoins, I know you
No, sir.
originally made...
No, sir. You said Sir Pertoins.
Oh, I said so, Pertoins.
Oh, okay.
So, Pertoins.
Gotcha.
So, Pertoins. I know you originally gave your pitch to my friend here, but I was wondering if you could answer me a few questions. The discrepancy that Sir Gwagon noted, what is there for a scholar within Oxenford?
Well, I suppose I want to learn a bit more about the Forest Sauvage. Intrigue roll.
Ba-ba-bam. Success. But a 5.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
You are lying, and very badly. Keeping in mind that we are 1/3 of the way there.
I prefer not to say.
Keeping in mind we are 1/3 of the way there, and turning around would be less effort than continuing to take you there under false pretenses. I am not just a knight of Salisbury, I am the marshal of Salisbury, and I would appreciate not to be taken into strange lands under false pretenses. I have offered my assistance. You will still receive it, but I would like to know what you have in mind.
I don't deceive you for my purpose for going there. But I won't sound like a sane person if I tell you why.
I have seen many strange things in my time. In my day-to-day life, in fact. You will tell me, and I, without judgment, will listen. At the end, I will make a informed decision.
He doesn't look very like he's not filled with confidence with that. He looks to Sir. Is Florence around when this is happening?
He's there. Yeah, Florence is nearby.
He says, Sir Florence, you wouldn't go back on an agreement, would you?
I would not. Of course not. I have sworn my oath, and I am honor bound to finish it.
He nods with that.
But I will say, as my friend has said, we have both dealt with some very strange things, as well as very strange people. Do you know, for some time, I once travelled with the one they call the Merlin. A very strange man, doing very strange things.
We slew
I'd just say it
giants.
might not surprise us.
Indeed.
He's like very. You can tell he's very uncomfortable with this.
But I'm not one to push for those who do not wish to speak of certain topics. We each have our secrets, but I hope you will learn to trust us during the journey.
Yeah. Give me an honest roll with that, Florence.
Ooh. Honest is not good. Oh, but that's a
Hey,
success.
nice.
Good enough. You can take it as well. I assume you weren't being deceitful, actually, in that.
No,
Yeah.
not deceitful.
He nods and he's like, like he accepts that. But as you walk, maybe another 20 minutes or so, or ride rather. I imagine you guys are riding, and he's probably riding like a palfrey.
Maybe one of my horses, I imagine, unless he has his own.
He probably doesn't have his
So I
own,
have
so he's
no-
probably riding one of your palfrey, actually. Yeah.
No, I have many horses.
Around sea. He says, I really am a scholar, He's like, I'm trained in arithmetic, geometry, music, cosmology, grammar, logic, rhetoric.
Nerd.
I've dabbled with the keys of Solomon. And I know all the classics.
A noble repertoire.
There isn't a single... I was going to say book. What would be the reference there? Scroll, maybe? Isn't a single...
I mean, we do have
yeah.
books in this time.
Yeah.
I think also text might be a word.
Text, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something a little more bog standard.
Academic?
Yeah. No, I was looking for something more generic than text, or like the medium, more so the actual. But yeah, I think text kind of covers anything. So I say, I've read every text there is to be read, at least any worthwhile here in Britain. You'll forgive me for expressing this because I'm not fully certain myself on how devout I am as a believer, but I believe I am going to Oxford. It's like he's trying to explain this to himself. I traveled to Oxenford in pursuit of a dream.
What manner of dream do you speak of?
As anyone who knows Oxenford would know that it's not exactly a place known for its knowledge or even caretakers of such things. I doubt it even has local bards, let alone those that can read and write Roman. Even so, my dream tells me it will be important. Important for learning.
Your dream tells you. This is no simple ambition.
He nods. He's like, I don't profess to understand it. And to be true, I'm not certain I believe it myself. But it doesn't go away, and it won't until I address it. And so I go to Oxenford.
At this, Edrich does something that Bertoines probably doesn't anticipate, which is he turns to his squire, Rianne, and says to her, "See, I told you. The quests lead to the unusual and the interesting."
She leans back and looks at you and says, "And you believe this nonsense?"
I have seen stranger.
I think he overhears her and he kind of frowns at that. At this point, you see there is a convoy coming from Silchester heading towards Lefkamagus. So they'd be riding on, they'll be riding the opposite way, so they will soon cross your path.
What banner do they hold?
The banner of Duke Ulfius.
There's no issue with us at the moment. I believe, unless Florence has any other suggestions, we'll continue riding and do a hail and well met unless stopped.
That's probably Florence's plan. Just a simple hail showing their banners off that they're not hostile. And then just continuing through, only stopping if they do.
Indeed.
As you approach and you hail them, you see it's not Ulfius directly, it is his son Ufo.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
This is a veritable who's who.
And he'll kind of slow recognizing you two, for sure. He raises a brow, because you guys don't have a convoy, right? So you're just kind of traveling through.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. Just a couple of nights.
We got a
Just
great
2
big
nights and we're having a
convoy.
good time.
I think he'll be a little more like playful having met both of you, and he'll say, I don't suspect 2 Knights of Salisbury are riding with this boy here for random reasons through Silchester.
Indeed not, Sir Ufo. We are taking him to Oxenford.
Yes, just burning down a few cities along our way, as we do.
Sir Ufo, I believe, we fought together and found the body of Uther's son with him. So there's history.
Yeah. He nods and he says, I hope they were in Wessex or Port, if you burned any.
Oh,
One
we'll
can
have
dream.
to see, won't we? It's good to see you, Sir Ulfo.
He nods. He says, I believe I ride to Levkamagus with this convoy in response to activities that you are all responsible for. He smiles.
So?
How fare the war in Gentian?
Successful. With a smattering of casualties, but otherwise a resolution which is acceptable for all. At least for the meantime. The injustice has been redressed.
Indeed. It's also good to win a war every now and then.
It shows people that it's possible.
He nods, kind of like knowingly, like he's pretty matter of fact. He says, you could spare me the rumor mongering that I'll have to suffer through, and tell me whether you intend to keep Gentian. Was it a matter of conquest for Salisbury?
Conquest, no. I will say this, in my official capacity as Marshal. We hold holdings there, and we will be paid tribute. We do not intend to hold it indefinitely. And indeed, once the heir comes of age and reclaims the land, we are certain that by that time the political landscape of Britain will have shifted.
Or at the very least, the relationship between the two counties will be better.
Either through diplomacy or through... Oh, sorry, you go.
To the point where we're not at each other's throats.
Either through diplomacy or through the reclamation of law. I expect that there will be no need for further warmongering.
He nods. He says, I know you both to be good and true knights, and so I believe you in kind. Though I must admit that such activities do raise the alarm of your neighbors at your borders.
I dare say that is not the point.
Indeed.
He says, one of your neighbors being the Duke of the Vale, I must say.
I will say this. Duke Ulfius have nothing to fear from Salisbury. The reason we struck towards Gentian is due to a matter where some of our land was handed part and parcel to them. Without a king, it could not be redressed. Silchester has done us no ills in such a manner, and indeed, we are, compared to some of our other neighbors, friendly.
I understand this. Even so, I would recommend you counsel with my father in the future. He's wise in these things, and he is no enemy of yours.
Edrich clocks that as a kind of, yeah, but why should a duke who's not part of Salisbury be involved in the strategic discussions of what Salisbury does? But outwardly he nods and says, "Your father is indeed wise. I hope that his Saxon allies have not been agitated overmuch by the recent grand war between all of them and the Angles."
I sense the Angles have more than they're cut out for this year. Rumor has it that even Wessex and Port joined the war. So it'll be all that claim to be Saxon against the Angles alone.
Indeed.
Let us hope their little scuffle lasts longer then. I'm not opposed to them dealing a few blows to each other.
Still, I'm not comfortable with Londinium being placed where it is. Nor am I comfortable with Huntland and Heartland falling as they did to the Angles. If
Indeed not.
the borders change, I suspect they won't change to Kimrick again. Not anytime soon, anyways.
We must
No.
have hope.
Kimry, he would have said.
The only true cure to that ailment is for Britain to unite and drive out the invaders. But it is difficult to do in such times of anarchy.
Indeed so. Indeed. Well, Sir Knights, I'll leave you about your business.
Give
Safe
my regards
journey,
to your
Sir
father.
Uther. Indeed, as I as well.
With that, he'll continue on.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to
Being in
cut back.
Silchester is a relaxing experience now. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's all good. Virgil, we can bring this back to Sarum if that was your next point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roll a. Hold on, yep. Roll a d10.
I love a D10. It's my favorite die. 5.
Give me a 2d100 roll.
I love 2D100. That's my favorite kind of die. 83 and 11.
Okay. Let us see. Noted. Okay.
Don't like when you say noted like that, Bob. It makes me
That's right.
uncomfortable.
The exact
Alright.
same way Jason Carl does it.
Noted. Let me make a note.
You're back with your 3 chosen, or 1 chosen, 2 randomly drawn.
Yeah.
And I think other than some of the knights that linger here a bit more often, so we'll say Erwin's kicking around, and we never did establish whether Bar was alive or not. I believe he is. If he is, he's here. If not, it's other
Could have sworn he was-
household knights. Yeah, I really need to go and answer those questions because it's annoying me that I don't know who was here. I used
It's
to know.
hard though because you gotta skim through a bunch of different
It's
episodes.
like
to make sure which
100,000.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I used to make really good notes, like as I was killing somebody, and I stopped
do.
caring which NPCs I killed. So, okay. So it doesn't matter. There are a number of loyal knights here, but I think the focal point is probably on the Robert, Ellen, and Jenna, right? More or less?
Yes.
And then you have witnesses outside of that family, such as Erwin.
Earl Robert, I have brought to you these 3 prisoners. They are bandits and responsible for the original burning of De Wordford Manor. There were many more, but I did not bother bringing them. Their corpses lay in Chute Forest where they were camped. My personal preference would be to keep them in Saram's dungeon until we confirm whether Lord D. Woodford can return. He may deal his own justice. Otherwise, they can rot.
Lady Ellen says, "Have you not heard the news, Sir Virgil?"
No, I've been hunting.
D. Woodford was confirmed dead.
That's a pity.
It seems he was punctured in the side.
Well, I feel for Salisbury's loss, then. These three have little use to me.
I'm gonna make a couple of rolls here.
I'm gonna make that kid so much worse by the time you get back, guys.
No, we need his stuff to increase.
No, he's doing fine.
The days of King Arthur, he's gonna be like, my Earl Roderick, he's kind of my Earl Robert, he's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna be talking to somebody else who ran the campaign. They're like, oh man, in that moment where Sir Robert like stood up against King Arthur when he made a bad call, and like it was like this really emotional moment, and we're like, oh, that's weird. Our Sir Robert burned down Durnford Manor. That's kind of nuts. Our Earl Robert had tried to have Lancelot assassinated.
Oh, Robert smacked Arthur. Just slapped him in the middle of court. Oh, what's going on?
Robert says, "Sir Virgil, are you telling me that you do not wish a particular outcome on these three?"
I've done my part in tracking them and bringing them before you. I have little interest in what comes next. As far as I'm concerned, my justice has been satisfied.
De Woodford was a house honored for the deeds of St. Albans. Their master became a hero to us then, and he fought bravely for us. It would mean very little if we just let these common folk live a normal life, or even in a dungeon, away from the eyes of my vassals. What does it tell my vassals? Other than I am but a boy who cannot be trusted to make hard decisions. If you state, Sir Virgil, that you have no opinion on the matter of these three's lives, then I will see to their justice.
I would be happy to be your blade, my lord.
Beheading is an option. I would rather a public hanging.
Then allow me to make arrangements. Their crimes will be read in front of a crowd, and they will be left to swing.
He nods. You can definitely tell that there is no like fear in him on enacting like decisions to execute humans, which is not a normal 11-year-old response. So, yeah.
Virgil's liking this kid a lot. Every day that goes by, he's like, yeah, this kid rules, actually.
It isn't a normal, like, a child thing, but I think it's the best way that it could have happened. Like, he wasn't going, make them fly! He's going, no, these people have to be punished and we have to send a message. Both that I'm not a wimp, and also that these guys did crimes and must die.
Yeah.
Liking this kid.
Just to be clear, this is not the I want to make the bad man fly character from Game of Thrones. It is.
Indeed.
He is not the equivalent of that. He has some flaws.
It's a pretty natural progression, I think, so far. Also, also, you guys have left him alone with Virgil, and in the course of about a month or two, he's already starting to cause problems here.
Hey, Edrich doesn't blame you for that. He was like that when we got him.
Florence does blame you for that. He continues.
He's like, no, I want to say I do blame.
No, absolutely your fault.
My lord, would you like me to give you uppies after this?
All right. I think that resolves that. One sec. We're going to actually move forward to the unless you like really want to do a lot of pomp around the actual execution. I think we can move to that.
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think as the one that spoke, E4 or whatever his name was, the one that was, or the loud one that was running his mouth. Anyways, he just the other two say a prayer for their death, before they're hanged. But he takes the opportunity to say, "We did nothing different than those knights do to one another." And he like spits on the ground, and he curses the knights of this land. And he says, "You're no different than the Saxons." Valorous 17. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Virgil will walk up and kind of grab him by the face and smile and go, "Now you're starting to get it. For what it's worth, I appreciate your bravery." And he'll let go and he'll walk over and he'll give the nod for them to make it happen. I imagine they don't have gallows yet. They probably just got these guys on horses and then have the horses walk away.
Yep. And I think
I thought Virgil was just going to kick the log that was under them.
I think Robert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. We could do it that way. I think that makes sense. Actually, it might be something like that.
I think so too.
Yeah. And I think
the cool thing.
And I think what happens is Robert is presiding right over this event, and it does a lot for him in Salisbury to be in front of this crowd here. Like all of a sudden, the people are like, "Oh, this little boy with a boyish face that's a little kid," but now there's a little bit of
he's the Earl now.
Yeah,
he's the Earl now.
Yeah. People realize he's still young, but they're like they see a bit of something he could become. So,
just saying, no rush coming back, guys. I got this. We're doing great over here.
I replaced your young up and coming Earl with a serial killer. I hope you don't mind.
No, that's fine. That's just a warlord. That's we like that.
When it comes back to people hanging on the battlements, just.
What happened?
I was gone a month.
Not to be that guy a second time, but any glory for presiding over this hanging?
Yeah, I think everything involved in this, including the bandits, will give you another 50 glory.
Hell yes, I love 50 glory.
All right.
You're racking up a good amount this year.
Yeah, Virgil's doing really good.
Okay, we're gonna get Thomas to roll a d10 this time.
10.
Okay. You make it to Silchester without any other interruptions. And
Yay!
everything's going along. Now, you guys have a decision for path before you. You can continue to ride all the way to Ulfius's castle, which will give you a better route at a main road. Or you can take paths through the fields, not through forests, but through the fields, up through the hills, and into Rhodri.
Can we see a full map of the land?
Yeah, there's not really a great one, but we'll give you what we can for this particular level of detail. And I should probably cut over to the other view then.
We're currently in Silchester.
Testing. Perfect.
What were the options? To head up to the Duke's Castle or...
So you guys are in Silchester here right now. Your options are to effectively skirt this river up through. There's a small ford through here, up through the hills, and then into Rhodri. Or you can go to Staines, and then there's more of a after you cross the bridge here. This is not like a small river path. This is like a main road. So there's you're riding a full road up to here, and then you can go. Obviously, you could go to Albans, but that puts you really close to the Angles War, which is not advised.
Yeah. Especially not when we're leading a civilian. Honestly, traveling through the main road seems better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little bit slower than going out, fording past the river to get to Redford.
Yeah, we just don't want to get into a situation where we will be at a disadvantage if something were to happen.
Okay, we're going to assume that you guys have to do a little bit of like counseling here because you don't have a straightforward path. So you're probably looking for local maps, consulting with people on Silchester and such. You're trying to figure out which one's better, is that correct?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. The other question is how much do you want to run into Ulfius directly?
We wouldn't mind. It's just a matter of what's more convenient. Like, Duke Ulfius isn't our enemy, as mentioned previously, and I don't think he'd try to stymie us.
Yeah, we don't have a reason to avoid him.
Folklore test, no impassion. Don't worry about failing. This might be a little bit of a reoccurring test here.
Folklore...
Can I use fairy lore, which is slightly better?
Nope.
No idea.
Sure, yep.
That's a fumble.
Hold on a minute. No, go away. There we go.
Where's your... You didn't roll. Or it didn't roll for you. There we go.
It didn't roll for me, but I did it again.
Okay. Okay. And I'll take another roll. Keep these rolls handy, fellas.
Yes.
Nope.
So close to that one.
And again.
When will this cyclical hell end?
Hey!
Yay, very nice. I will make one more just to see if I get that as well.
Yeah, you might as well.
Where did it go? Here did it go. Failure, but close.
Florence, you can tick folklore if you don't have it ticked.
Alright. Yeah.
So, Florence and Edrich, you spend 2 full days, and like, you're asking around but the problem is you're still trying to like put together what is the better way to go, and you're not left with any certainty. Finally, by like the late afternoon of the second day, you first off, your scholar went to go ask around to some people, and you haven't seen him in a couple of hours, so I'll note that. Second thing is,
didn't get that.
with your own search, you understand that the trip through Ulfius's lands would be the safest, the safest way to go. But the ride up this way would be probably more straightforward. You could potentially avoid more banditry if you just went due north. But if you want to ride like on a main road and you are traveling with someone who's not as travel ready as the two of you are. Bertoines is not that way. So it's not left with like a certain bulletproof. It's more like probably the cautious way is probably through Ulfius's lands. The slightly more reckless, but definitely more sort of advantageous for getting there on time in a reasonable amount of time would be shooting straight up from here, crossing the more small, like the smaller paths and bridges, basically.
Given that we spent 2 days figuring out which way would be the best, I feel like time may be a factor.
Okay.
I feel a disturbance in the force. As if 3 men were hanged.
For example?
Nah.
Okay.
Not to be specific or anything.
Yeah,
I think
Let
Florence
us-
is interested in getting this done as quickly as possible. Just in
Yeah.
general.
Then let us find our wayward scholar.
You, looking around, you kind of, Silchester's a pretty big city. It's one of the Roman civitas that remains here. It takes you a little bit of time, but you eventually find him. And he is among company. You see him while he's drinking. So that's not the best scenario for him. And he seems to be talking kind of quietly with 2 other figures. One has a coat of arms on their lapel. It's a lady and a male noble.
Do we recognize the heraldry on the coat of arms?
Heraldry +3.
Ooh, I can't fail.
I did fail.
Okay. It's familiar, Edrich, but you're like trying to figure out like what it is. I think again, Florence with the heraldry knowledge, you instantly recognize that as the Barony of Thornbrush.
Okay.
He has company, it seems.
Indeed. Well, I'm gonna go introduce myself.
I shall lurk.
And that Florence will make his way forward confidently and charmingly as he inserts himself into the conversation.
Yeah, the moment you come up, everyone's eyes kind of turn, except for Bertoines, who's just kind of laughing away.
And that Florence goes, Bertoines, this is where you've managed to get yourself into. A pleasure to meet you both. I assume a lord and lady of Thornbush?
The guy speaks up. He says, "Oh no, sir, and this is a friend of our family's. Nor am I the Baron. I'm his son."
Oh, of course you must be the son of Sir Sartorius.
Indeed. I believe we rode
Well, it is-
in the same tourney together when I was but a boy.
Indeed we did. Well, it's a pleasure to see you once more, though it has been quite some time. And who is this lady friend of yours?
He'll give you his name too, Sir Salados, and then he turns to her and he says, "This is Lady Ingwin." She nods to you.
Well, I am positively charmed. A pleasure to meet you, my lady. I am Sir Florence of Idmiston, and the Baron of Axe.
Indeed. I've heard of both of you. Sir Florence, Sir Edrich.
Edrich will nod politely. An honor and a pleasure.
Oh. What brings you both to the city of Silchester? Going about some business, or enjoying a night on the town?
Sir Salados speaks up and he says, well, I'm here to look after some of the logistics in Ducal Feast's stead while he is tending to his castle. With the war for Bretwalda, he thought it best to keep his tacticians well placed.
Of course, of course. And indeed, I have not seen your father for some time. I hope he has been well.
Oh, quite so. He was, last I knew, he was currently residing in Swans for the year.
I see. Of course.
Back in Salisbury, of course.
Well, you'll have to send him my best wishes when you next see him.
And mine as well, though Pertoines is a family friend. For a scholar to have read every text in Briton and to be well placed amongst the nobility, it is a rare thing.
With that, Sir Salados says, indeed, well, it's not every day that you meet a refined scholar such as this one.
That is true enough.
Indeed so.
Well, we'd love to join you for drinks, but unfortunately, we find ourselves on a tighter schedule than originally intended. Petonius, I think it is best we begin our leave.
He nods. He's like, oh, yes, very well. And the two of them will nod to you.
Once again, it is
again.
a pleasure to see both of you.
Yeah.
Sir Celados, Lady Gwen.
And Ingwin nods to both of you and says, indeed a pleasure. And she says, to Pertoin, she says, and a pleasure indeed to you, sir. I wish you the best in your new home. He nods. Intrigue test from both y'all real quick.
Yes. I've been waiting for that. These guys are being strange about things. Success.
Yeah, there's definitely more there, but the two of them will kind of depart and leave the three of you together.
Thorn brush. Wordstrom. But yes, shall we depart?
Yes. Interesting to see a member of the Thornbrush. Considering his father's ties to our own county.
Indeed so.
Pertoin
Pertoins,
Yeah,
you get more and more interesting with every day that passes.
smiles and says, I know, right? It seems that Sir Salados recognizes me from Londinium years ago. Interesting that. He says, you know, I don't recognize Lady Ingwin, but yeah, she was a bright one, that one. He speaks and reads Latin quite well.
Curious.
Did you tell them of your plans?
I told them I planned to travel to Oxenford. I gave them the same terrible lie I gave you, of course.
I see.
Says they didn't seem to press me for it.
I see. Oh well. We should do what we can to prepare for the journey. It's going to be a interesting one. I'm sure you have plenty of stories to tell the other scholars you come across.
He smiles. Oh, that would be wonderful.
Oh, if only that was so. Anyway.
Okay, now I must ask, what do you guys intend to do from this beat? What is your next move on this go?
I think kind of heading direct north in a quick path. We don't have a problem with Ulfius, and it would be fine to go there. But we spent 2 days trying to find the pros and cons of each path.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to be gone
time is
forever.
now a factor. Exactly.
Fair.
Heading up through Redford, maybe going through Riddican and then to Oxford. That sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably having to ford across the river, like around there, and then making our way from Redford to Riddican.
I get
Okay.
captured by Lord Alabaster again.
He found us.
Make a be captive of Lord Albaster roll. It's like, you got a 20 in that. It's like, yeah.
I don't know who put this here, but it's 100. Curse you.
Okay, we got about 20 minutes left. We're gonna zoom back in on Virgil at this point. What is Virgil's next move now that the trial is done and execution?
Well,
actually,
you see, Virgil has this guy that's been living in his basement. And by living, I mean being held prisoner there.
mm-hmm.
I think he needs to go and wrap that situation up as well.
Okay. What do you wish to play through in that?
I think I would like to see where it goes. If that's okay. Like, just talk to him and see where that happens. I have a feeling I know where it's going to end up, but we'll see.
I forget what his name is, but I had it not long ago.
Oh, I've got it. It's Eden. Edyin.
Close enough.
Edyin.
That's close enough. We'll accept it.
He's one of the Billies, you see.
Yeah, Billy or Jimmy. I get it. Okay. We'll go with that. So, you make your way down there, and he is where you'd expect him to be. Roll me a d10, please.
I love D10s. They're my favorite. 5.
Okay. Dang it. My roll 20 is being done. One sec. We will take a 2-minute break. We'll be back very soon. is both eating and interrogating.
Worship.
This city, full of people, ready to believe. All right.
All right.
Are we back?
We are back.
Oh.
We are back.
Oh shit!
I wasn't lying. No, we're into the late hours of the night, so we'll complete with these last two bits. All right.
Virgil steps down into his dungeon, which I don't know if he's officially constructed, but boy, if it was an option, he'd have it. So, and I think as he goes down, he's got Sir Edlin? Edian.
Is he a knight or just a guy?
He's a knight. He's a straight up knight.
True.
Sir
is.
Edian. Yeah. He's a household knight for me. He's got him locked up in shackles in there. And Virgil steps in and brings him some water and goes, "It's been done. I tracked the bandits that you mentioned. They're dead. All of them.
Not just the
But I
man.
also...
Sorry.
But I also received word that there will be no House de Woodford anymore. I want you to understand. I recognize that you were someone who was taking initiative. You were trying to anticipate me. And you were trying to help. I won't forget that. But you misunderstood who I was and what was important to me. In order to find revenge on someone who had wronged me twice over, you acted dishonorably. You didn't meet him where he stood. You did worse. And you did it in my name. There was no other way that this could go. And you're lucky that someone who sees you is here to give you water and to end your life, rather than it being something worse.
Do what you must, my lord. I will not fault you for it.
I swear to you, give me the names of your family and they will be looked after. I promise you that. You have my word.
Now you were looking, when you put together these boys, they weren't necessarily Salisbury born, right?
Not entirely. He would have primarily searched for Salisbury born, but anybody who was willing to be his boys, those are acceptable.
Let's find out. Ignore this first one.
Oh, Cadwigan.
No, I just need to click the buttons. I just need to click the buttons.
Hey,
okay.
peoples.
Actually, damn it, it would have been in that original write-up. What do you have for the name of this guy? How do you spell it?
Edyin.
Aha. Got him. Okay, Same region. So, Southlands. It is. Or South Counties. Antone. That makes sense. He is an exile from Wessex. Like exile as in doesn't have a home anymore in there. So they'll say, I would if I could, my lord. What's left of my family is scattered to the wind.
Then give me something to repay you for the kindness. It cannot be your life, but I will find something. Make it easy on me.
I'm gonna do this. This would be the easiest way to do it, because that would be fun and
I want you
random.
to take Hampton back from the Saxons.
Yeah.
All right, name a second thing.
Yeah.
Give me like
No,
three
no,
options.
we're good.
and I'll
We're
pick
good
one.
there.
Isn't the Wessex the one that I like though? like
You like them, but we need them dead.
Mm-hmm.
my cousin's out there.
Yeah, I think I'll say that. I'll say
Oh fuck.
uh, my sister was in the place known as Portsmouth when it was taken. I don't know her whereabouts or if she survived it. But if she did, it would mean a great deal to free her from Saxon occupation.
Then I will bring her home. Or I will ensure she gets a Christian burial.
He nods. He nods with a smile, because I think that's exactly the two things he was going to request. And he doesn't have to use the words.
And after he finishes drinking the water, Virgil's gonna break his neck.
Okay.
I know Virgil is strong, but also the difference between a dagger blow or a sword strike and reaching out with your hands and kind of
He maybe got him in a choke lock. Virgil is pretty strong though.
Virgil
He's
is
up there.
pretty strong.
How hard it is to break someone's neck? It's not. It's not easy.
He's above
That from
famous for
experience.
his strength. Like
I know, but the guy's not a duckling or like a lamb. Guy's a full person.
look, man, you just kind of like
You just
you just
I need an unimpassioned strength test from Virgil.
oh fuck.
Let's see if this goes as mercifully as you want it to.
This is
God
merciful?
damn it.
Okay.
You just hear the guy going, "Ow, ow, ow! Please, either
No.
kill me or let me go."
It's nothing like that. I think you can tell, like, by the way he's twitching that he's not, like, he's, like, still suffering in this moment.
Oh shit. Hit dagger. He'll dagger this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay.
he wanted to do it bloodlessly, but fuck it.
Yep. Okay, we'll accept it. I was debating on giving you a tick on merciful, but that would be mean because you'd instantly go back now. So
I actually have merciful and cruel both ticked.
oh good. So that's okay. Okay. All right. There be the death of your most loyal really misguided but loyal a knight. Yeah.
What does loyalty get you? But a snapped neck.
Welcome to Anarchy. Okay. I will take a D10 roll from Florence.
Alright. Oh, 1.
1, okay. The two of you, or the three of you, counting Pertoines, the scholar, you make your way, following the river up through Silchester and into Riddichen, following the path you prescribed to me before. You skirt wide from the hills. And then with that, I'll give you an awareness test.
Oh.
That's not a good sign.
Nope.
Oh, failure for me as well. This is the thing my bloodline's like famous for.
Yeah. Okay. Given that, it's later than you'd want it to be when you realize from the hills you see what looks like riders making their way quickly towards you. A couple dozen or so. It's hard to see.
Like we could outrun them.
You've already lost one opportunity. The two of you could probably manage it.
We just got an advantage from Rebecca, though I do not know for whom.
Was it from Rebecca or is it from Jen? It says which one? Oh no, it was
Rebecca.
Why didn't it show it
Rebecca.
that way? Why is it? It showed it. Okay, that's okay. Shows it like above the person's name.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
that is
Yeah.
Um.
There's like a line next to it that connects.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You get another test.
I think I'd prefer them to fail, actually.
Will I do it with the 16, or do you want to?
I agree. People gotta fail it sometimes.
Take the 16. Do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Give
go on.
us a win, please.
Critical.
Okay. Edrich, you can tell from their numbers that they're likely organized, likely on chargers, and likely coming down to prey upon you. These should be either sergeants or better war-trained riders. Bandits, but not the kind you want to face, not with the two of you by yourselves.
Too many, too well trained, and too heavily armed. We ride. Yeah.
Alright, then. Florence kicks his horse into gear.
We're going to try to get away from them, and is there a way we can get away from them and get closer to our goal, or is this a kind of they're driving us away?
Well, the goal is to try and get ahead of them. The problem is that when you're riding like this is going to be horsemanship tests, and I will note that Pertoines is not the rider you guys are, to say the least.
Yeah. If he starts slowing down, then Florence is going to turn back.
Okay.
Likewise with Edrich.
Now the good news is you guys are riding through fields, so there's nothing immediate that's a threat. I will start with a horsemanship roll from each of you.
Alright. 6
I'm tempted to impassion myself because my horsemanship isn't that great. But I can't think of anything that would apply here. I guess honor because I'm bringing this guy across. Could I do love sword of victory because I'm going on a quest with my mates?
You could. Yep.
Yay! Failure. Alright, we're raw dogging it.
Gosh.
This just got way out of hand. All right, you succeed. Okay. As expected, Pertoines is falling behind.
Right. I will call out to my squire, Rian, if he falls behind any further, take him upon your horse. But despite his words, Edrich is like slowing down to defend for a bit if need be. But otherwise, he's buying time for the untrained horseman to continue cutting ahead.
Buying time, how so?
If necessary, and the bandits catch up to us, he will engage them.
How
But
many bandits do we
otherwise,
have?
a couple dozen, he said.
Yeah, it's a Conroy. Little.
Dozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a dozen, maybe. A couple dozen, perhaps not. But mostly acting as either A, a more tempting target, or B, just waiting until Pertoins gets his shit together.
Okay.
Because we are defending him, and Edrich is a knight of his word.
Okay. Edrich, I need a horsemanship test.
All right, let's try this once more. Boop. Success.
Okay. Okay. You see a range of javelins come out as you move through.
Oh, not again!
You put yourself right into harm's way, and unfortunately, they got the better roll on you on this one. So, we're gonna see where this goes. I don't think it'll be a big deal. What do we get? 3. So we got 14. You are pelted with weapons. You suffer 14 in total from 2 javelins that stick.
Got you. 14 in total?
Yeah. It's after armor.
Okay, I'm still up.
Yeah. Yeah, you realize that being close to them is not an ideal situation. These are bandits, not knights, and they have no honor. Or if they are knights, they they lack honor.
Move!
I think Florence is going to ride up next to Pertoins.
Yeah.
And is going to look to him and go, onto my horse now. And as he takes his time, Florence is literally just going to grab him by the back and pull him over the back of the horse.
Okay. I need a strength roll, not to pull yourself off the horse here.
Good. I am going to impassion myself with honor because I have sworn to keep this man alive.
Yep.
Success. And that's a +5?
Yeah.
I don't believe I can fail this roll. Oh,
Okay.
doesn't matter anyway, that's 1.
Yep. Okay.
Florence has been lifting. He's been picking up his muscles.
And then I need your horsemanship roll for the round. You are impassioned.
Do I get a... Yes, so +5 to this.
Actually, I want this flat because it's going to be the -5 from bringing someone onto your horse at the same time. So, yeah,
Success.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, Thomas, I did get a horsemanship roll from you for dodging, it was success. So, you do, despite the wounds, you're able to kind of catch back up with Florence and Pertoins. They are still in hot pursuit of you. You're not going to outrun them forever. The worst part is you're riding through flatlands with nowhere to really duck into or hide, short of diving into the river, which I wouldn't recommend. Do you want to just ride as hard as you can?
Yes. We have potentially an advantage, and that's that our horses have all of the luxuries and training of a knightly warhorse. They're bandits with chargers, but they don't have the materiel that we do. We ride as best we can until they either give up their pursuit or we can break line of sight.
Okay. What I will do...
Florence... Go ahead. Florence doesn't bother bringing the Rouncy with him. He leaves the Rouncy behind.
Okay.
Or essentially lets it run off. Hopefully it'll just track them or something.
I want a horsemanship roll from each of you. Florence, you are still suffering from a -5, but you are still impassioned because it's the same scene. So those will balance each other out. Edrich, you just aren't impassioned because you failed the impassion test last time.
Indeed.
So you can choose another one if you wish, or you can just roll flat.
I think I would like to choose another one because I just took 14 damage, life kind of flashing. I would like to return to my family and not to have died on a random quest. May I impassion love family?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, beautiful.
Okay. So with that, all right, that's good that you. It's really good that you added the passion.
Incredibly good that I did it. Yes.
Oh yeah.
As the two of you start to, or continue to make your way and riding as hard as you can north, you look ahead and you see riders coming fairly swiftly this way. These ones have banners.
Can I do a heraldry roll?
Yep.
Any negatives?
No, but no bonuses. Yeah.
Okay. Success.
Okay. It is the banner of the Baron of Oxenford.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Okay. You've seen that banner directly once when you were at Prince Madoc's Gathering of the Barons, Gathering of the Lords, when he was regent for his ill father, King Uther, all those years ago. You recognize it still.
Oh yes, I think Florence would make sure his heraldry is visible as he would hail him, kind of, very what's the word? Vigorously or visibly, very like, hey, we need help.
Indeed.
Yep. You see, as they start to close, you see the other riders behind you swiftly turn and start making their way back for the hills.
Mm-hmm.
Cowards.
It's true. It would take a coward to prey on, or an advantageous soul, as it were, but back then, a coward, to prey on such a thing. But you see the convoy. It's like it'd be outfitted similar to how you guys would suggest. And in fact, it looks like this is some kind of border patrol. Seems like they're hugging the river and kind of riding through. They slow down as you approach, and they kind of move. We'll do the whole Rohirrim thing. They kind of surround you.
Circle the wagons.
Yeah.
I think Edrich, pretty damaged. Javelin in his side and somewhere uncomfortable. He looks around at these people. Ready if a fight were to break out, but not expecting it.
I think that Florence will speak up and say, "Well met. I am Sir Florence of Idmiston, the Baron of Axe. May I speak to whoever is leading your patrol?"
A rider rides forward. You see a man maybe in his mid-20s, fairly well-groomed, kind of a broad face. I wouldn't say handsome as so much as just broad. Good posture. He looks about at the two of you and Pertoins and says, "Sir Florence, I thought that might be you, given your banner. Who is it you ride with?" He looks to Edrich. Sorry, you fumbled.
I am Sir Edrich.
I fumbled Edrich and passed Florence.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
I am Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke.
And this here is our scholarly friend, Pelotonus.
Pertoins.
Pertoins.
It'd be great
I
if
think
Sir
that's
Florence.
in canon. I think that's in canon.
Pelotron, Pertoins, whatever. Yeah.
But close. Pertoins. That one.
He'll say, all right then. Why ride through Radichin?
We ride for Oxford. We're in fact part of the detail to guide our scholarly friends there. Seems he's a bit of a tree scholar.
It was the quickest path, but I must say we did not know that the lands would be so rife with banditry.
It should be well documented, or not, I wouldn't say documented. It should be well said that these lands are riddled with bandits. Being so
We
close
don't
to
often
Albans
get the opportunity
as
to
it
go.
is.
Yes. We don't often get the opportunity to travel this far north, so perhaps the knowledge has been lost a little on the path.
What has become of it?
Of what, Sir Edrich?
Of Riddichen?
It remains under my father's stead. I'm Sir Bellius, the second son.
An honor and a pleasure.
Indeed, well met.
Hans Gruber looking motherfucker.
Jesus Christ.
He says,
But, yeah.
Okay, cowboy.
If you-
Edrich will say, you have our thanks for your timely appearance, but indeed theirs was a surprise, and one far less pleasant.
Of course. Well, you've arrived this far. The least I can do is escort you back. You said Oxenford, yes?
Indeed. We thank you for your noble service.
Very well. My father will be pleased to treat with you, I'm certain.
And we would be pleased to treat with your father. Be good to see him once more.
So,
And with that, we will come to a close as you narrowly avoid the disaster. All right, let's go ahead and do some recaps. Not recaps, some outros. I've been
Outros,
driving
yes.
since like 5 a.m. today, so
100%.
yeah. We'll start with, but I don't work tomorrow, so that's an advantage. Thomas, you're up.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I've been playing Sir Edrich of Winterbourne Stoke. He didn't die or get knocked unconscious this episode, so things are looking up. All in all, I think that's me. It's been an absolute delight playing, and thank you to Bob for running despite a hectic time.
That's all good. I love this stuff. Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I was just looking at our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun things on there, such as memes and shit posting, as well as updates on whenever we go live, as well as new projects that we are a part of. I have been Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and I've been playing Sir Florence of Idmiston, and I hope you will continue to join us on our journey through the world of Pendragon. With that, I don't have too much to add, other than I have new series that I have been teasing for quite some time, so stay tuned for some medieval vampires. Until then, I have been me.
Awesome. Liam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I played Sir Virgil of Durnford. I did a few war crimes today, but it's okay because they were against peasants, so it's not really a big deal. I do have something to announce, actually, today. Me and a couple friends of mine have put together a podcast. The first episode will be going up Friday the 13th, September Friday the 13th. That is called On With the Motley. And it's a show where we basically end up explaining a passion or a TV show or a game series or whatever to one of our friends who hasn't experienced that thing, and we make a fun little drink themed around it every episode, and talk it out in fun ways. So I'm very much excited for it. Everybody that's involved is having a fun time. So very much looking forward to it.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. So make sure you send me the link to where that'll be, Liam, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I do those, like I ever do those, no. So, I promise I will, because someone will give me crap now. Yeah, so this game, Pendragon, we are slowly, methodically crawling our way through Anarchy. By that I mean we are up to about 7 episodes on average per year, which is about 4 to 5 higher than I wanted to be through Anarchy. So we'll figure that out. I still have high hopes that I can twist that around a little bit. But in the meantime, it's always a blast. I only do that because I want to say we got through the entire Pendragon campaign at some point. I too like to have these sorts of games go on as long as they need to, as comfortably as they need to. But I think I need to be a better arbiter of time in the sense, and just push things along and say, you only get this much time and we gotta keep going. I think if we can get to 3 or 4 episodes, that will be the sweet spot, and that's what we'll aim for closing out Pendragon. Anyways, we play Salisbury Anarchy on Sundays, and Tuesdays we're in Summerland, and Fridays we are raiding these lands and conquest of the rest of these lands. We'll see how that goes. 3 separate campaigns, all set in the same Pendragon universe. And yeah, it's been a blast. And we started with Salisbury, and we'll end with Salisbury. No, but yeah, we're moving right along. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Farewell.
Bye.